In today's video, we're going to look at how to improve your hi-hats. So we're going to break this down into 3 sections. We're going to look at sample selection, and then we're going to look at layering and using more than one hi-hat, and then we're going to look at processing. Let's get into the video. So for sample selection, I'm going to go through 3 different tunes and I'll show you different hats that have been used for these tunes and how they work with those. So let's listen to this. This is a hat that's coming out in my pack soon, but if I just show you how it was before, so this is what it sounds like first. And I've just changed the fade out of it slightly. So as you can hear, this hi-hat is very light and fluffy, and it sort of just bounces off the drums, which are also quite light, especially the clap. And the synth is quite light as well, and the melody is quite simple, so it works well with it. Now let's look at this tune. So if we listen to it here. So if we listen to this hat here, it's a lot lower than the other hat in the previous one. Now this is an open hi-hat as well, but it sounds very different, and the 2 hats wouldn't work well if they were swapped round. And the reason is because this bass here is quite different. So we were using a stab in the other bass, so we wanted something to match the energy of the stab, whereas in this one we're using a wobble sounding bass. So we want something to match that energy, so a more slow flowing hi-hat. Now let's listen to this tune. So these drums here are using a lot of different elements. Again, we've got an open hi-hat that's quite aggressive to match the synth. So we've got a layered hat here, and then we've got lots of percussion elements throughout to support it. So let's listen to the hat on its own. And I often find that using a vocal element over the hi-hat often gives it a little edge that makes the tune stand out, and not many other people do that kind of thing. So I recommend experimenting with things like that, just to see if it gives your tune a little edge. Next, let's look at layering. So I don't mean this in the sense that you need to layer everything over the hi-hat. I mean this in the sense that you can layer over the hi-hat and then you can use the step feature to layer in between it. So let's listen to this. So as you can hear, the hi-hat here adds swing, the hi-hat here adds swing, and then this hi-hat layered over this hi-hat just adds another element to the drop. And overall, this is sounding way better than just the hi-hat on its own. It adds groove and swing to the track that it wouldn't have before. So I recommend experimenting with this. Try and use closed hi-hats for the ones in between the steps, and then open hi-hats for the main hi-hat. Now with regards to the post-processing in a hi-hat, I'm going to go through the post-processing of the hi-hat in this tune. What we've done is we've added a Pro Q2, got rid of any lows and kept the mid to high range, and then got rid of any highs after 1800 Hertz. And then we've used a little trick here, so Pro DS, and this is to get rid of any high range sounds that were kind of piercing through the mix. Now because this tune overall is a very low end style tune, We don't want the high end coming through in the hi-hats because it sort of ruins it, and you end up just focusing on this really high pitched hi-hat that's hurting your ears. So this DS tool is really handy for those sorts of tunes, and it's worth experimenting with. And then we've used a decapitator on quite a high setting, and then we've just got some reverb there, not doing much, and then another DS. So I thought 2 would have been enough for this one, so you can see how effective it is using it twice. And then we've just got a limiter. Another tip with the hi-hat is to get a Pro Cue like this and to go through the sound listening like this. And then if there's anything that's really hurting your ears, what you can do is find it and then change the gain like this and remove it. And you can do that all by ear. That's a really good tip. So I hope this video has helped. We've looked at post-processing using EQ, making sure the high end doesn't sound too loud, and then limiting it off at the end, as well as using saturation plugins like Decapitator. And then we've also looked at the layering. So your hi-hat needs to be supported with lots of different percussion elements and closed hi-hats as well. And then finally, we've looked at the sample selection. So it's really just a case of knowing what you're going to pick, the open hi-hats, what level of aggressiveness you want the hi-hat to be sounding depending on the type of tune you're using, and then going through your sample selection and picking whichever one fits it best, and just using your ears. Download some reference tracks as well, this will help a lot. I hope you enjoyed watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Drop a comment on what you'd like to see in future videos. I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.